Lovely to see you all. I'm just going through the pages. Hello, hello. Okay. So I did it last time already, and then I'm doing it again this time. So I will just tune into the energies. The energies that are coming in every week are a bit different, as you know, because when I share, you hear that it's different content and also different transformational information for the mind and the system. And yeah, so I will just tune in and see if there's also an information or a message these energies can give us. Yeah, so I will just check. Yeah, so it just comes in right away. Um, so basically, the information that comes through is don't hold back in showing who you are. Um, and this has come through meditations as well lately. Show your individuality because this is where we are important in this incarnation. So the closer we are to our personal highest truth or to who we are, the more, of course, we live our highest potential and the highest possible timeline, if you want to use that word. But also at the same time, we are of the highest use, if you want to use these words, for the place we live in or the our surrounding. So, because a lot of people think they have to change, I have to be kinder or nicer or more loving or more compassionate or whatever. Like we always feel like we have to be different as we are. To be liked, loved, to be accepted, to be somebody, to be successful. I don't know, like whatever programs there are in place. But it is really becoming more of who we are. And this is where we are the best version of ourselves. And I know these words, like you probably have heard them before. And it sounds a lot easier when we speak about it versus like being that. But what I'm seeing and from my work and also what the energies are sharing is really removing energy patterns, beliefs, limitations, all sorts of limitations that we have in our system. Like, this is really the work we have to do because we don't become our best version by changing things in this 3D reality, if that makes sense, like work harder to be better in our jobs, or I don't know, like that we actually put energy into this 3D reality to change things within ourselves. This is what we usually do, right? This is how we're taught things work. But it's really the change has to happen within us, as you already know. And it's about removing limitations. So, all sorts of energy patterns that keep us small, unimportant, not lovable, like in a box. And if you check, I'm sure there are quite a few there. Because it starts, when we're young with school, then in being in a job, like we're always in a certain role. So we always play also a certain role in the family, with our friends, and that's fine. We have different facets, but it's one thing to play a role, and it's another thing to have access to the authentic part of us in that specific moment, so in that present moment. And this can also change, every time. This can change every moment, it can change. And so that's the important message to, yeah, live again our individuality and become the best version of ourselves by removing limitations. So everything that keeps us small. And often what keeps us small is like in a field that we feel comfortable in. So we have certain limitations and we like them because it feels comfortable, it feels safe, we know they're in place. And if we, you know, act in these limitations, it feels familiar. And so often it's kind of hard to move beyond it. Um, because there are excuses. So I'm not moving beyond this limitation because I'm thinking of an example. Okay, there's just one popping up. Um, when I go on vacation, I always book a 3-star hotel and not a 5-star hotel because I can't afford it. So this is also a limitation. But 3-star hotels are good enough for me anyways. Just an example. This is just one that came up. So we have limitations. We don't act on certain possibilities because of the limitations, and then we find excuses why we don't do it. And then we feel good about it. I don't use the plane to go somewhere, even though I would like to go places. I rather take the bike and only ride the bike to the next lake to have my vacation there. Let's say it like that. But I'm a good person because I look after the environment. For example, it's a very amazing excuse, and we feel really good about it because we're good humans. We look after the environment. So there are just all sorts of different excuses, and they make a lot of sense for the system, or for our minds. And also, like in society, they're reflected as, we do good work if we ride the bike and not take the plane. But I hope you know where I'm getting. And so there are probably loads of these excuses there where we actually don't choose what we prefer, where we're not 100% who we are because of certain limiting energies. And then there are excuses why it's good that we're in the limitation. Or not going to a Christmas party because this is also, it's funny, it's also just an energy pattern. I just saw it in somebody. Not going to a Christmas party because I'm too tired. And then sitting at home watching a movie. Yeah, I'm very happy that I didn't go. I'm here by myself watching this movie and resting. But for this specific person, I know going to this party would mean there are a lot of limitations there, or a lot of limitations. Not feeling good enough to be around people and having all sorts of deficiencies and didn't want to get them reflected. And this is why the person stayed at home and didn't go to the Christmas party, for example. And then, excuse, I feel so much better because I'm home alone with my movie. Just different examples there. So, long story short, it's really also being honest. Okay, there is a limitation and I see it, and working on it so that we overcome it versus, being comfortable in the limitation because we don't need them anymore. Yeah, all right. I check if there's anything else. No, I think that was it. Yeah, that's very important. That's an important one. Yeah, and then I also want to share that tomorrow is the last group session for this year. So if you want to join, please join us. It's at 8 o'clock Central European Time, 11 a.m. PDT, Pacific Time. So if you want to join us, please do. And then I will upload new ones, but they will be back like in the first week of January, probably. Yeah. Okay, then let's start with the meditation. I'm just making sure that everybody's muted, yeah. And afterwards, if you have questions, please ask afterwards. Yeah, so for everybody who has never been here before, what you can do is just sit back, relax, meditate along. You don't need to do anything else except be in an open and receptive state. Try to be as comfortable as possible and close your eyes and meditate along. And there is a 15-minute long meditation, and I guide for the about first 20 minutes or so. And then there's also a silent part. Yeah, and this is recorded, and then I'll upload the recording later on my YouTube channel. All right. Let's start and enjoy. I start with opening up the energy field. Bring in light. Then I expand the energy field. Expanding the energy field helps to hold more light in the system, and also more awareness comes with that as well. So I'm expanding. And the energy field can always be more expanded. It's a never-ending process. We can always carry more light, and light is higher information, and this information is transforming our system and life experience. So there's always more to explore. Then I fill up the expanded space with light. Maybe you feel light coming in. Also, expansion of your system is happening slowly and steady. More expansion is happening, more expansion. Then our clear surface energies. The surface energies are just the energies that take us away basically from the present moment, from what's behind the movement, so the silence, the stillness, the clarity that's always there. Just clearing those surface energies. And then more light is entering. And this is in general what happens, right? So I'm doing it here, let's say manually. But when there are energies on the surface and you let them go, remove them, whichever technique you use, and then there is more light present and there is more expansion happening. So this is becoming more of who you are as well. So every time we remove some sort of limitations, some sort of energies out of the system, there are limitations, there are information, but this information is not you, then more of what you are is there or can come forward. And that's really amazing. So I clear more of the surface energies. Also on the level of the mind. On the level of the mind, I see it mostly as distraction. So the thoughts, the thoughts are distracting from the distracting us being fully in the present moment, from meditating, from what we actually want to focus on. I'm talking about these random thoughts, the stories. And I'm clearing energies out of the level of the mind that create those stories. And then right away, also more light is entering. And when there is more light on the level of the mind, there are also less or even no thoughts created. The mind becomes very quiet. And in general, the system becomes very quiet when we clear these energies, the surface energies. And this feels very nice in the body. So the body, I always say the body really enjoys that, really enjoys if there is no movement. The body doesn't enjoy emotions or energies moving through. It prefers if it doesn't happen. It's more restful. And you get the direct feedback here because surface energies have been removed. Maybe there are one or two still there, but the energies that are present, they're removing those as well. They help to remove. So if there's still like tension or anything, just allow it to be there. It will dissolve over time. And then there's more relaxation happening, more relaxation. More light is entering. A lot of light enters through the third eye chakra, crown chakra. And the energy that's present right now, it helps to create more silence in the system. So I always speak about that the silence is always there, right? And there's just movement in the forefront and we clear it. At the same time, everything we have in the system, it also exists as energies. And they're just assisting this process to deepen the experience. So there's more of this silence entering, more of an energy that creates the silence in the system. And that just feels very, very nice, like this silence. So this energy with the information of silence flows into every cell of the body. And every cell starts to adapt to the information of silence. So it's fascinating, right? So we don't just not hear anything and then we say it's silence, right? Because we don't hear anything. We can actually feel the silence in every cell of the body. So the silence is deepening and deepening. And the more silence you experience in the system, the less the silence can be interfered with outside experiences. So there can be a lot of stuff going on the outside, but if the silence is present, it's there. So even though, let's say, there is a stressful day happening, there's a lot happening on the outside, whatever Christmas celebrations, baking cookies, working, whatever it is. If the silence is in the system, it's just there. And it's the most beautiful experience to move through life with a silent system and experiencing life through the silence. It's interesting because then experiences, let's say on the outside, they become more magical in a way. Because if nothing can interfere with the silence in your system, everything can be experienced more fully. Often we can't experience fully because there are a lot of protective mechanisms coming up so that we don't have to feel, we don't have to face certain aspects of ourselves, certain emotions, thoughts, whatever. But if the silence is present, these mechanisms, they don't even show up, so we can experience more fully. And the silence is the part, let's just say it's a part of truth, of your true nature. Silence has neutrality, right? It's neutral. The true nature is also neutral. So also an energy helps to bring forward this neutrality. Energies are being cleared in the background because I can see certain systems, they're not used to the neutrality or silence. So there's a little bit of resistance and other energies, so they're being cleared. So that this experience can deepen more and more. And this neutrality is such a gift. Because having energies in the system always playing out preferences, what you like, what you don't like, constantly all day long, takes up so much energy, so much life energy. It's not you, it's certain energy patterns playing out. So something you picked up throughout your lifetime. And then you're never in a position where you feel everything is perfect, and if then only for a short amount of time. When a certain energy pattern is met, and then it's happy for a certain amount of time. Let's just say it like that. But in the silence, in the neutrality, this game doesn't exist. So everything is perfect at all times. And this is such a gift. This tearing back and forth is gone. So there's an energy coming in from beyond creation, just helping this process to move forward the true nature in your system more and more. So Brahman energy. There's a difference between creational and non-creational energies. Maybe you can feel the difference in the quality, in how it feels. And I pull you a little bit deeper into the meditation. And this Brahman energy basically helps to, so I see it working on the system. It's opening, so basically it's clearing blockages, but it's opening areas to the true nature, to have access to the true nature that weren't able to access it before. So it's just working on different parts of the system. I pull you a little bit deeper. And if we want to give it some words, this is a whole other level of silence and neutrality. Maybe you can feel it. Maybe you can feel the difference. But it's just deepening also this silence and neutrality in our system. At the same time, the energy helps us to fully become the Brahman. So it's working on that right now. I pull you a little bit deeper. It's always easier if you move a little bit deeper, then it's easier for the energies to work. And then let's sit with this in silence for the next 25 minutes and try to relax as much as possible. And if you feel little resistances coming up or something like that, just let it go. There's a little bit of other energies, or whichever energies, just let them go. Just relax and enjoy. Okay, we are finished. Thank you everybody so much for joining. That was such a great meditation, very liberating. Yeah, thank you for being here. And if anybody has a question, please let me know. Hi, Mandip.